Hello, today we'll be learning about how to factor a quadratic polynomial, and we know that a quadratic polynomial is of type ax square plus bx plus c, where the leading coefficient a is not equals to 0. And by factorization we mean that we are trying to split this quadratic polynomial into two binomials. To do that, we first need to multiply the leading coefficient with the constant a times c. Then we try to factor this product a times c in such a way, let's suppose p times q. Then if these two factors add up to b, then we say that this quadratic polynomial can be factored completely. If not, let's suppose we multiply a times c and try various combinations of their factors p times q, and none of the factors p times q will add up to b. In this case, we say that this quadratic polynomial cannot be factored, or this polynomial is a prime. Let us take an example: x squared plus 6x plus 5. Let us multiply 5 times the leading coefficient, which is 1. So 5 times 1 is 5. And since we have 6 in the middle, I would factor this 5 in this way. 1 times 5 is 5. Okay? And we know that 1 plus 5 equals to 6. So that's why I factored in this way. Now, this observation clearly tells us that this quadratic polynomial can be factored into two binomials. Okay, so those two binomials are x, let's write in this way, and since 1 and 5 are the two factors of 5, so let us put it here. So that's the complete factorization of the given quadratic polynomial, but we need to check. Let us multiply x with x at first, which will give us x squared, x with 5, which will give us 5x, 1 with x will give us x, 1 with 5 will give us 5. So here we can clearly see that this is x squared plus 5 plus 1 is 6x plus 5. Okay. Thus our factorization is correct. Let's take another example: x squared minus 8x plus 15. 15 times the leading coefficient, which is 1. 15 times 1 is 15. We will factor this out in such a way that those two factors will sum to -8. Okay. 15 can be written as 3 times 5. Okay. And 3 plus 5 is 8. But we can see that we have a -8 instead of 5 plus 3, 8. So how to get a negative sign before 8? Since we know that negative times negative is a positive, so let us include -3 times -5. Multiplication of two negatives will give us positive. So that's why -3 times -5 is 15. And -3 plus -5 will give us -8. So that's how we work around it. Then our factors would be x minus 3 and x minus 5. Let us check. Let us multiply these two binomials. We will get x times x is x squared, x times -5 is -5x, -3 times x is -3x, -3 times -5 is, of course, positive 15. X squared, -5, -3, that will give us -8 plus 15. Thus, we got the original quadratic polynomial. Hence, our factorization is correct. Let's take another example: x squared minus 3x minus 10. Here, -10 times 1 is -10, Let us factor it out in such a way that the sum of two factors will give us negative 3. We know that 10 can be factored as 2 times 5. We know that the difference of 5 and 2 is 3, but what will give us negative 3? So for that, we choose the negative sign to go along with 5. Okay. Then we can see that 2 plus negative 5 will give us negative 3. Thus we have x plus 2 and x minus 5. So we are done with factoring. Let's check. Here, let's multiply x and x. That will give us x squared. X with negative 5, negative 5x. 2 times x, 2x. 2 times negative 5, negative 10. Then we'll be getting x squared. Negative 5 plus negative 2 is negative 3x minus 10. Thus we got the original quadratic polynomial. So our factorization is correct.